Okay, 3 lessons today for the Heilige Megillah. Let us begin with this one. No specific order, by the way. I'm out of order already. We're just going to go specifically right into the Megillah. We're going to delve right in there to see what we can get lessons from the Heilige Megillah. So start like this. Listen to this. This is absolutely amazing. In the beginning of the Megillah, there was a major dilemma that Achashverosh had with what he should do with Vashti. What should he do with Vashti? Now, the most of we all know the story. I'm not going to go through it now. Vashti had publicly shamed her husband Achashverosh by not wanting to join the party and reveal herself in front of all of the other people that were there and show that she was thus the most beautiful woman in the world. She refused to do that. She embarrassed. She publicly disgraced the king. And now Achashverosh is like, hello, what am I meant to do with her in this case? Now, Lemaisa, he was stuck. Why was he stuck? Let's remember. Yes, he was the king, and yes, she publicly disgraced him. But after all, she was the Yichus. According to most Shitas, we spoke about this on the first share, according to most Shitas, he had no royal blood. It was her. So she was the only real lineage to the throne, and if she would be gone, then he would be basically just a stable boy with no connection to the throne.
So that had the power.
Right, but once you get rid of the connection to the throne, you better have no connection, and who knows what can happen. He was very scared. He didn't know what to do. This was basically his only claim to being who he was because of who he married. If he gets rid of her, he's stuck. So he was really, really, really stuck with what to do in that case. So listen to this. The Megillah tells us, Perik Aleph, Pasuk Gimel. We're going out of order because we're going to do another Pasuk soon. Vayoyma hamelech lechachamim, yoidei ha'itim. Right? So the king spoke to all of the Chachamim, the wise people, Yodeitim, those that knew the times, okay? Right? This was generally the way the king did it, which is how generally most kings do it, is they turn to the government officials, the officers around them, because these people are the ones that know the judgment, they know the law. Listen to the Vilna Gaon's pshat, or understanding in the penetrating idea of what's going on behind the scenes over here, and this plays itself out all the way at the end of the Megillah as well. It's just amazing. And this is one of the ideas I told you, is if you go through the Megillah, you can see the story in the most amazing way that you never had before. Listen to this. Zok the Vilna Gaon. Don't you think that the king should have had the ability to make his own decisions? After all, at the end of the day, he's consulting his advisors about something to do about his own personal wife. Come on, this is not a government official idea. This is not a worldwide event or even a town or city event. This is something to him and his wife. Why is he consulting them? Listen to the Vilna Gaon. Vilna Gaon says, it was not by choice that Achashverosh consulted the advisors around him. And again, he quotes, Kikein Dva HaMelech. This was Persian law. This was the law in Persia that you had to consult, that anything, even if it pertained specifically and only to the king, it needed to be discussed with the officers around over there in that case. He was not allowed to rule on his own over there, and it had to be Lifnei Kol Yodei Dosvedin. And therefore he had to go along and bring other judges to decide his wife's fate. Okay? Now, Rabbi Isai, let's go now to the end of the Megillah. Okay? We'll go back to this in a minute. Let's go back to the end of the Megillah. When Achashverosh learned that Haman was not only planning a plot against the Jewish people, but also against his own wife Esther, and not only that, at the end of the Megillah, he finds Haman and Esther on the same bed, and he says, like, seriously, I'm in the house over here, like, what are you doing over here, right? What happens? We know that is the moment that he decides to take Haman and to hang him. Right? You're messing with the Jewish people, you're messing with my wife, you are out. He's going to immediately hang him in that case. Now, one second. How did he do this? How did he pass judgment on something that's negated his own wife, right? You should have invited the Olam. There should have been a judgment, right? Doesn't make a difference. Anything that's, again, and like we said in the beginning, anything that pertains to his wife, he has to invite the Olam. This is his wife, he married her. Why all of a sudden, clearly the Megillah tells us, he did not call in the officers, he made his own judgment, Paskin, go kill Haman. So Haman was killed based on that judgment. How did that happen? Rabbi say this is all the Vilna Gaon. It is absolutely unbelievable what he says. Says the Vilna Gaon that all of a sudden, towards the end of the Megillah, Achashverosh was allowed now to pass judgment himself without calling everybody else because of one person. Who was that one person? Haman himself. Why? What Haman himself? Listen to the Vilna Gaon. Achashverosh called in his olam in the beginning of the Megillah to decide what to do with Vashti. He called in 7 advisors. Okay? Chazal tell us, one of them, and the Megillah mentions it, you can look it up. One is Memuchan. Now, Memuchan, according to everyone, pretty much is another name for Haman. So Haman was there when they decided what to do for Vashti. Haman came along and said, this is ridiculous, we're changing the law. How can it be that the king has to consult his advisors when it's something against his own wife? He should be able to decide himself. And therefore, Haman came along, Memuchash, that's what it clearly says, that he changed everything. And I'm not going to go into the whole details where this comes from. The Medrash brings it also, it's an unbelievable thing. Okay? So what came out is like this. Haman himself obviously had personal interest because he wanted Vashti to be gone because then he could get more involved over there, which is obviously what he wanted. But the point was, Haman himself was the one that told Achashverosh, you don't need to consult your people. This is negayah to your wife. You decide your own. Achashverosh took the advice, changed the law, and because of that, later on in the Megillah, when Haman did something against Achashverosh's wife, Achashverosh had the ability now to say, Haman, you're going to be hung now. So if you think about it, the strings that are being pulled, the screws that are being turned because of Haman's own action, which he did for himself, because his own gaiva, it resulted in him becoming hung and the entire success of the Purim story, all because of that. Now, that is the most unbelievable thing when you think about it. It's like, whoa, how did that happen from beginning to end? Purim story is the most incredible story with our Shkocha brothers. 2 more things, Rabbi say. Okay? This is also amazing. This is not from the God, this is also from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. The Pasuk says, by Yom HaShvi, again, we're not going in any specific order, so you will excuse me specifically for the order. We're holding by Pasuk Yud in case you're following. Pasuk Yud. By Yom HaShvi, Ketov Leiv HaMelech, Beyayin, Oma Lum Humon. Those people who are, by the way, not listening in the Megillah, sometimes will be like, oh, and then everyone will be like, okay, nobody else is learning, right? It's not Haman. Haman is on Perek Gimel. Okay, so just remember that, right? He said to Haman, "Bezosa Harvoina, big Sava." Okay, Bekitza, the whole pasuk over there with the whole thing over there. So the 7th day of the party. So we've got this huge party that he's lavishly serving for everyone over there. And it says on the 7th day, the king's heart Ketoiv Leiv Melech. The king's heart was very merry. Now let me ask the Makasha. What 7th day? What's the 7th day of the party? So the Gemara says Shabbos Kodesh. The Gemara says it means Shabbos. Now, okay, the Gemara tells us it's Shabbos. Beautiful. Was Achashverosh all of us happy on Shabbos? Like, what does Achashverosh and Shabbos have in common? What shaykhs? What shaykhs? Huh? But why was he happy specifically about the 7th day? What made him happy about the 7th day? So listen to this idea from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. It's a beautiful, amazing idea. He says over here. He says, Azoi, Lemaisa, what Achashverosh's idea was, and the Megillah tells us also, is he wanted to serve everyone. He wanted everyone to be involved in everything. Right? That's what he wanted. He wanted everyone to be involved in that case. Now, Lemaisa, we know that Achashverosh made a party. Not everyone went, but Mordechai Tzaddik at the end of the day wasn't very much into drinking wine, especially not at a party like this. But, says the Lubavitcher Rebbe, this is brought down in the Sichos on Purim, that he says the reason why the Rabboni Shalom allowed Achashverosh to be happy on the 7th day, on Shabbos Kodesh, because that was the day, all of a sudden, that Mordechai Tzaddik had no objection to drinking, because it was the day that he has to drink, because again, wine, you make Kiddush on wine, you meant to drink some wine, the Rambam says as well, the various Sudas as well. So on that day, all of a sudden, Mordechai Tzaddik is drinking. When Achashverosh sees that everyone's chilling, not only the Rishonim, the bad people, but even those quote-unquote good people out there, he's very excited. He's got everyone under his shlita. It makes him happy, makes him think he's under control once again. This is the Rabban Shem pulling the strings, turning the screws to make sure that everything's working in the way that it's meant to work. To make sure everything that we think is so insignificant. What's the difference on the 7th day? What 7th day? It has a significance to it, because at the end of the day, it shows us something specific about that what's going on. Another what rabbis say as well. We're going all the way back now. I think we went out of order today. We could have gone the other order, but whatever. In Pasuk Dalet, Perek Aleph again. The pasuk says like this, and I'm gonna read it to you, and I'm gonna translate it to you again. We'll basically go through the Megillah. It is unbelievable, but just don't go through the Megillah. Go through the Megillah in a way that you'll understand a bit more of what's going on. So listen to this. This is pasuk Dalet. Pasuk Dalet says this: Bahar oisai es oishe kovoid malchusai ve'es yakar tiferes gedulasai yomim rabim shmoinim umaas yoim. Okay, translation. That Achashverosh is showing the riches of his glorious kingdom and the splendor of his majesty for many days, 180 days. Okay, so what do we have over here? We have Achashverosh, as Chazal tell us, who's running around showing people about the godless, his magnificent palace, his wealth, all the treasure houses. In fact, if you look at the Medrash, Esther Rabbah, and also in Shemos Rabbah as well, and in Targum Sheni, they all say, Tana Devei Rebbe Yanai, Chizkiah Omri, 6 oitzros that were open, and every day he's showing them oitzros. Oitzros are huge storehouses. Frick the kasha. Okay, the kasha is asked as follows. 180 days is a long time. 180 days is a long time. It's not a week, it's not a month, it's not a few months, it's half a year. It's a long time. So I get it. You make a party for a day or two, Seder. Have people by Purim Mashulush, and it comes, this is crazy, but this happens all the time. There's a Rebbe, don't worry, I can drink when it comes to Sunday. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to Sunday, we had this in previous years, so don't say it doesn't happen. Comes on Sunday, comes the day that we're meant to have, and he's saying Yerushalayim, you're meant to be drinking the Suda, right? That's the Ikka drinking. I can't even look at alcohol anymore. I drank Thursday night. I don't know why Thursday night, but Thursday night. I drank Friday. I drank Friday night. I drank Shabbos afternoon. Again for Shalashidis. Again for Lava Malka. And by the party as well. And then on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, I don't even want to see alcohol, right? Yeah, people like that. Believe it or not, right? Don't say no, because every year we have people like that. Believe it. By the way, one of the ways to get, what's one of the easiest ways to stop a hangover, to prevent a hangover? Continue drinking. Kavaldik. You know something? Eventually, you get sick of it. You know what? You want to have a 3-day Purim and enjoy every day? Beautiful, enjoy it. But imagine you have a 6-day Purim, or a 10-day Purim, or a 20-day Purim, or a 40-day Purim. I don't know, but the biggest drinkers and alcoholics will eventually say, oh my gosh, enough. Here we have, I'm not talking about the drinking Shabbat, right?
Guys that wake up every single morning and drink.
That could be. But when it continues, here we're not talking about the drinking Shabbat, here we're talking about the storehouses. Talking about the wealth, the sheer wealth that Achashverosh is showing. He's showing his wealth. What eventually, like, how much can they take of it? They don't get sick of it. Okay, Achashverosh, we get the point. We get you're a wealthy guy. You're a big balgaiva. We get that you've got all the money in the world. Okay, what else is going on over here? Okay, Rabbi says it's not my kasha, but this is the thing. That's why the answer. Look at the lashon of the Megillah. Bahar oiseis oishe kavod malchusai. You know what that means? That means every day Achashverosh showed them something else completely. It wasn't like he showed them the same thing every day. No. Every day there was a brand new thing that he opened up like no one ever saw before. That makes it exciting. When you see something you never saw before, that makes it exciting. It's like, oh wow, you have also this? That's crazy. That's amazing. Rabbi say, the Sfarim HaKadoshim tell us, the lesson that we can learn from this is Azoi. The lesson we can learn is in Avodas Hashem, there's so much that sometimes a person can feel a bit stale. You can feel a bit monotonous. It's again, Shachris, Mincha Mariv, again, Dafayomi, again, my Seder in the morning, my Seder in the afternoon, my night Seder Chavrusa, again, Berachas HaMazon, again, Tefillin, again, Tzitzit. It's like, oh. Okay, so Baruch Hashem, we have Shabbos, we have Yom Tov, we have so much going on. Klal Yisrael is Zoichet to have Yomim Tovim. It's such a beautiful variety of a Yiddishkeit. But if you don't recognize the beauty and the color of Yiddishkeit, it can get a bit boring. What the Megillah over here is telling us, the Eitzah, and again, Eitzah Chacham, we've done this before, we can learn from anyone, even in Russia. What Achashverosh did to get everyone, including the Yidden, excited every day about the world that he had, that's what he did. He showed them something new. The idea is to try and get something new in Yiddishkeit every single day. Whether it's a new word in davening, whether it's a new understanding in Shabbos Kodesh, whether it's whatever it may be, try to get something new in Yiddishkeit because it improves a person's geschmack in what he's doing and it keeps him interested, it keeps him going. That's the message that we're learning today. Be'ez Hashem, tomorrow we'll continue some more lessons. The Siyata Dishmaya. Okay, quickly, we can do some marriage stuff. Quick.